What's up, people and peepettes? Alright, here we go again. We're still building the podium. Alright, what we got here is we've put the side parts on, which is a little decorative part. And now we're putting the top part of the legs on. Now, I'm finna show you. If you look at it, it may look like a little, it's going to look like a little table. See? It starts out looking like a table. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set this down, and I'm going to go through some of the procedures of how we putting the legs on. Alright? So if you can see me, here I am over here. Alright, here I am. Alright, watch this. This is the leg. What I've did, if I've drawn out where the leg's supposed to be, okay? Once I drew it out, let me go through it with you. Take it and draw it out. I'm using a pen. You can use a pencil or a marker. Here's a pen. I like to use pencils and pen because it don't leave big marks. Because you know, with this beautiful wood, you don't want to mess it up and make it look ugly with all kind of big marks. Alright, now we get our glue. And in the little partial square that we drew, we put some glue on the inside of it. Now, not too far out, because remember, this leg has to sit down on it. And so, as it sit down on it, it's going to make great contact, and it's going to stay. Alright? Put that there. Alright, here we go. Now, it sits a certain way. You see these grooves right here? These are going to be in the front of it and the back of it, because you want it all to look very good. So once you put it there, have it sit. Now, this is the important part right here. Remember I told you earlier? Did you see me almost tripping? Remember I told you earlier about these clamps? Anytime you use glue, you want to use clamps, because you want to hold it still. So we're going to take these clamps and hold it still, because in this beautiful weather, actually the wind is blowing. But we don't want this to move. So we're going to clamp it down on here. Alright? Now you don't want to clamp it so tight that it starts pulling all the other things that you have on here off. Alright, you don't want to get too far down to the bottom, because what's happening is it's going to pull it in. So you want the clamp to sit where it has its best opportunity to keep it straight. Right there. Now, as you do it, maybe a little glue come out of it, but that's what's supposed to happen. So now we got the clamp holding. Alright, the clamp holding is flush and it's straight. Here we go right here. You can't see it because we're so far away. But you don't want to use this. This is not going to hold it. This is mostly for the top of the table. It will not hold this. I repeat, it will not hold this. Now, what I did with the other two, I've done them, and under the bottom, I've put 2 screws. Let's see, can I turn this around without rupturing anything? Gotta be careful. Always about being careful. It's going to look like a table, because that's what it is. We're preparing the table for the word. Now you got to be careful having stuff under it, because this beautiful piece of wood, you don't want to mess it up. Alright, so I'm trying to turn this around. I got stuff under it. I do. But I want to move it around as best I could. Now, there you go. It should be a little closer to you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 small nails. I got to move this because it's sitting on my nails. If you still can see. Okay. About 1 1/4 inches. But see, he got some dog hands. Alright, here we go. 1 1/4 inches. My phone going off. So we want to get up under here, and we want to tack this leg down, because we don't want it to move. We want the glue to seal it, and we want it to be tacked down. Alright? So as to do it, you want to apply pressure, holding the leg down. That's one. And you want to do it catty-corner to the corners of the leg, like right here and right here. So you want to do it in the corners so it doesn't move. You don't want to do it in the middle. If you do it in the middle, it's going to twist. We don't want twist. Alright? So you got to kind of gauge it. Take your time. Bang. And that's it. Guess what? That was done. Voila. So we're going to do the same thing with the other side. I've already marked it. Got to make sure you turn it the right way. Take our glue. Set it in there. Then we're going to take our glue. Put our glue in our spot. Put it on there. Somebody say nay. Can I hear somebody? Ha! Say nay. Ha! That's what they're going to be doing. You don't want nobody beating all on your podium, but just in case they do, you want to make sure that it's sturdy enough to handle the beating. Because it's going to take a beating. Alright? And the same just like we did the other ones. You want to apply pressure, but you don't want to tear it up. Okay? Alright, takes a little time. Alright. It's kind of moving up, which I don't want it to do. So I'm going to try a little trick. I want it to apply down. Bang! Without moving. Bang! And there we go. Voila! Get my 2 screws. 1, 2. Get down on your knees. Get your corners. Start it in. Hold it down. 1. Going to the other side. Whoa, come on. Kind of flush. 2. And guess what we got? Voila! Now I got a little glue coming off of it. You know I don't like the little glue coming off of it, but it happens. That's what it does. Because that's what you wanted to do. Now we got it flush. Now we got first part of stage 1 together. And look what we have. Look like a table. Bang! We got something look like a table. Now you see it kind of moving, but this is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is, see how smooth this is? This is so smooth, no splinters. Now if you get a piece of board that's not smooth, let me get this so you can see me. Alright. If you get a piece of board that's not smooth, you're going to have to get a sander and smooth it down to as smooth that you can run your hands across of it. And don't feel no splinters. Now, sort of dangerous, but you just do it very subtly. You know what I'm saying? You feel any place where it needs sanding, sand it down where it's rough. You don't have to, because once you get that splinter in your hand, ain't nothing like getting a splinter in your hand. Anybody know anything? Hallelujah. Don't want a splinter in your hand. All right, here's stage 1. Now, when this finish, it's going to be about this tall. Okay, you see what I mean? Stomach to chest. This is the first part. Now there's a part gonna come up to about right here. You might take it down a little lower, but you want it to be somewhere like in the bottom of your rib cage when it stand up. So you kind of get the picture of what it's gonna look like now. Somewhat. This is just the beginning. So although it looks like a table, it is just the beginning stages of the podium. A 4-foot wide, a long podium. So here we are. That's the first stage. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to set this aside, and we're going to start on stage 2. Stage 2 is the bottom of it. Now, to get it the height, it has to have something to get up to the height. So, first of all, I hope you've measured and see how low it's going to be. Okay, because you got 2 more parts to put on it, because you got to get it up to the height that you need it. Okay? Alright, this is the first stage. I'm going to lay it back down. And if it's right, the legs won't come off. If it's wrong, you know what's going to be. Back to the drawing board. Alright, this concludes stage 1B, if you will, of making a podium. Alright? So I'm going to come back with you, and we're going to start on the next stage. Peace.